Next to me is a 1969 Boss 429. Made by Classic Recreations, it's got the looks, the speed, and acceleration that would put a smile on anyone's face. So what is it like to drive, and is it worth the money? Today, we're gonna find out exactly that. Under the hood of the Boss 429 is a ridiculous 8.4 liter V8 that makes 815 horsepower. Yes, that's right, 815 horsepower in a rear-wheel drive 1969 Mustang. To put that into perspective, the original car made 375 horsepower. Now, that being said, 375 horsepower is extremely impressive for 1969, but I'll take 815 any day. But before we continue, I'm extremely excited to announce that this car is actually for sale now on PocketListAutos.com. Pocket List Autos is my new auction website that's bringing together all of your favorite automotive influencers like Drat Times, Street Speed 717, Archie Hamilton, and even NBA player Austin Rivers, whose car this happens to be. We've got 24/7 concierge service. You can list your car for free. It's extremely easy, and if one of you buys this car, I'm actually going to be insanely jealous. So click the link in the description below to check out PocketListAutos.com. I hope you enjoy it. It's a fun project I've been working on. So Classic Recreations is actually the only company that's officially licensed to make these original Boss 429 continuation cars. It starts off as a 1969 Ford Mustang, then they restore it completely to factory condition, and then they add a host of upgrades, like this absolutely savage front bumper, the crazy hood scoop right there, of course a 815 horsepower engine, and a host of other goodies. This car's been fitted with 18-inch wheels, and in the back, it's got 315 section tires to help try to put that 815 horsepower down. Now, the good news is they've done more upgrades. You'll notice wheel wood brakes, so it actually can slow this thing down. It would be terrifying if it didn't have upgraded brakes with that much power. We've also got a multi-link suspension setup with adjustable coilovers, so it actually handles decent. The interior of this beast is actually really cool. We've got air conditioning in here, which is nice considering how hot it is today, an aluminum steering wheel, carbon fiber everywhere, carbon fiber door cards, carbon fiber dash, really cool analog gauges. Now, you can get this car with either a manual transmission or an automatic. This car has the automatic, and it's so interesting. It looks like it's a manual, and you shift it into gear almost like you're putting into gear on a manual transmission car. Pretty darn cool. I also absolutely love the seats in this car, particularly the little rings with the holes in them as reminiscent of the GT40s. All right, so we are in the Boss 429 now, and I'm with Phil, the co-founder of Pocket List Autos. You drove this car the other day, pretty nuts.
Oh, it's insane,
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. 800 horsepower, rear wheel drive, just nuts.
The first thing I noticed is this car is owned by Austin Rivers, an NBA player, and the seat's all the way forward and I can barely touch the steering wheel. The good news is it's obviously fixable for somebody who buys this car, but for now we're stretching. And the best part is when I reviewed an SF90 with him, it was also an NBA player's car, and I also couldn't reach the pedals.
Yeah, they'd moved the bracket back.
Yeah, they must have done some custom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 6'5" baseball player. So.
That makes me feel bad because that's not even that tall. I thought maybe the guy was like 7 feet tall. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna fire up this ridiculous 8.4 liter V8. I mean, just the sound is insane. And I like the fact that it has some creature comforts. We've got air conditioning, we've got radio. I mean, you probably never would listen to the radio with an engine sound like this. But the air conditioning, that's vital, especially out here in, we're in Ohio and it's a bit sweaty. This automatic transmission is kind of hilarious, getting it into drive.
Can be converted back.
Yeah. I think if I bought this car, I would instantly convert it back. I will say though, the automatic transmission actually shifts pretty smoothly. So if you just want this car to cruise around and look and sound awesome, it's a decent option. But obviously, it's going to be a more engaging driving experience with the manual. All right, so what's the pricing looking like on a car like this?
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's hard to gauge.
Yeah.
Classic Recreations has a few comps that are similar, that are low threes, which is where I think this would probably sell.
Sure.
It only has 950 miles.
Yeah.
So it's basically a brand new car. But
and don't worry, we're not rolling it over 1,000 miles. It's like the most vital part of this review is making sure it doesn't hit 1,000 miles.
We promise, Austin.
Yeah.
We promise. Yeah, I think if somebody snatches this up in the high twos, they're getting an incredible deal.
Yeah. And I mean, the original Boss 429s are kind of that thought process.
Yeah, his money manager loves me and hates me. But I will say, Austin is a real car guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
always says, like, all I do, I play basketball, I hang out with my family, and I look at cars. And that's
Not
it.
a bad
He's
life.
like, at night, he's like, I'm just scrolling through cars on friggin' trailer and soon to be pocket list.
100%. And I will say, there's so many people, that have infinite money in the sports world that buy the Aventadors and the Rolls-Royce Phantoms
Oh, yeah.
and the Cullinans and whatnot. So to see somebody who can have anything but chooses what we would want to choose
very
is really
tasteful
cool.
cars,
And
yeah.
they're not going to depreciate. So maybe, hopefully, his money manager understands
Exactly.
that it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, he's very strategic with his cars, and big part of my business was selling cars to pro athletes. So I've seen the spectrum of pro athlete clients. Some of them just they make money and they just want to treat themselves. They work so hard, so I get that side of it. But the research isn't there.
Yeah,
so
of
they're just
course.
kind of like buying what they've seen around. So Austin is not that. He is like just a through and through car guy. So
the way we got connected, so random.
yeah.
When I bought that 458 Speciale Aperta, I actually bought it from him at Ferrari Beverly Hills back in the day.
Yep,
And
yep.
then circled back a couple years later, reviewed that SF90 at his dealership together. And I was joking. I haven't done a lot of car reviews where there's somebody else in the passenger seat. And the times that I've reviewed cars, you've been in the passenger seat, and I've been so far from the steering wheel I can barely reach. So my comfort level's been, I'm going to expect from now on that any car we do together, I just can't reach. You're going to be there with a grin on your face.
That's great.
I will say, Ohio doesn't quite have the roads like California. As much as I'd love to rip this in the Malibu canyons, I mean, it's not a canyon car, but I would like to test out the handling. There's a lot of straight lines here.
Yes, yes.
But it's a good opportunity to test out what this thing would be like just driving around town and going to lunch and taking it out on the weekend, and it's totally manageable.
Yeah.
It is loud, but I mean, why would you buy this car if you weren't into loud?
want the sound.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. Definitely adds to the experience. See, a car just braked in front of me. If this was my dad has a 1965 Shelby GT350, incredible car, but that thing does not slow down. And that was like the cream of the crop back then for basically a homologated race car that's a road car.
Yeah, Buster Posey's Eleanor that we had, that eventually sold at an auction for I think $500,000.
Wow.
That car, it was a crapshoot. Like the engine was too powerful. Right? It literally, you didn't know if you were gonna stop. So
What a problem to have.
Yeah, so I think they probably should have put better brakes on that one, but this one is
Yeah, it's nicely set up.
yeah, it's pretty comfortable to drive.
And I've never been in a classic recreations car before. Didn't know a ton about the company. Obviously, did a bunch of research. This is really well done.
Yeah.
Like the fit and finish is awesome, and mostly just the drivability is great, which is a very important part of recreating an old school car. They've kind of taken the best of everything and combined it into one.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds for sure.
All right, let's see what this thing sounds like if we open it up a little bit. It sounds pretty sick. Well, guys, this is an absolute blast. I actually, I don't do a lot of classic cars just because my knowledge base isn't there. But every time I get behind the wheel of something like this, I realize how cool this generation and this ilk of car is. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Super excited for this car that's live on PocketLessAutos.com right now. You can bid on the car, and if one of you wins this, I'm gonna be so jealous. I would definitely, I wouldn't mind owning one of these. All right, guys.